Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on the Game and Gig podcast, we're talking all about PlayStation VR2.
Okay, Daniel, this is the week.
It's here?
PlayStation VR2 is launching this week. I've pre-ordered it. It's been shipped. It's coming in the mail to me.
Mm-hmm. If it doesn't get stolen.
If it doesn't get stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, guys. This is a tangent, but Daniel brought this up.
Yeah, I did.
I got my GameFly discs in the mail this week, and they had been stolen. I got the little...
You got GameFly envelopes in the mail.
I got
you didn't
envelopes.
Get no discs.
Yeah, the discs were gone. They were gone. I can't believe someone stole my GameFly stuff. That's the first time I think I've had anything stolen out of the mail before.
You've had things lost in the mail from
I've had
GameFly
things
before.
lost, but I've never had it like straight up blatantly stolen.
Right. Yeah, the universe doesn't want you to play the Dead Space remake.
No. Dead Space got stolen. And another really funny one that I'm sure they were not expecting when they broke into my GameFly envelopes was a little Switch game called Cat Quest. So
it's a banger.
I don't know. I've never played it. But it's actually Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2. So it's a lot of value on one cartridge.
Oof.
So,
I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to steal that.
I know, right? But back to PSVR 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get stolen in the mail, it's coming this week. And
what day?
I think it's coming on the 22nd. That's the launch day. I think that's Wednesday.
Okay.
So it may be here early. Who knows? Because it's already shipped. So it just depends on the mail getting it to me. But I think the estimated day was the Wednesday. But anyways.
Well, I'm off this week because of having a break from school. So if you... if you need a second set of eyes to test that PlayStation VR2, you just give me a call.
Oh, okay. Well, to do it. So
just get my puke bucket ready.
I know that the VR thing is not for everybody, and we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
But as a VR enthusiast, for some reason, this feels big to me.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like the next step in VR. Not that the tech is that much next step, but...
I think it's the next best one, probably. I don't know that it's a next step.
No. What I mean is I think this could be a big step for VR because although it is expensive, $550 for PSVR 2, the tech that's inside of it, that's actually a really good price for what you're getting. It is like, if you compare it with something like the Quest 2, which I guess is going to be its main competitor, the Quest 2 is cheaper. Now the Quest 2, I think, is $400 for the base model. And it is standalone. But because it's standalone, the specs on it really aren't that great. It's kind of underpowered. It's got a good screen and stuff like that. But in terms of performance, it's not that great. And because the PSVR 2 leverages the PS5 to do its processing and stuff, they were able to really focus on like the screen and then the eye tracking and like things like that are really great. So at the price point, it's really decently priced.
Yeah. Does it have built-in speakers?
So I can't remember. I think it does because I don't, like the PSVR had the built-in
yeah, it had earbuds, dangled, right?
And I don't know about the PSVR 2. I don't know. We should definitely look that up. The Quest
2 has built-in speakers, and I've always been impressed. They're not bad.
No, they're actually
not
really
bad
good.
at all.
I kind of think that the PSVR 2 has built-in speakers, or maybe it has built-in earbuds like the other one does. But I think it has built-in speakers, if I remember correctly.
It does not have built-in audio.
No built-in audio at all. So you have to wear headphones with it. Okay. So that explains why in the promotional images people playing it, they have on their headphones. Okay. So, no, I was wrong about that.
Follow-up question. Can it do Bluetooth audio?
Can it do Bluetooth audio? Wow.
Like, could you use like a Bluetooth earbuds with it?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Daniel has all these great questions about PSVR 2. So while Daniel's looking at that, let me go ahead and hit you with our first poll because I wanted to know how many Gaming Gig viewers were also going to be picking up a PSVR 2. I'm really excited about it, and I wanted to see kind of other people's experience. Only 10% of people said that they were definitely picking it up. 11% of people said eventually. 11% of people said undecided, and a big old whopping 69% of people said no, they were definitely not going to be picking it up. So a lot of people, I get it. It's niche.
It is, and it's expensive.
And it's expensive.
And some of these people may not even have a PS5 yet.
Right. Right. So, I mean, like, there's no point.
Yeah.
But so, and I'd say out of those 10% of people who said they're picking it up, I would say probably only half of them are getting it at launch, if that.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty small chunk of people who are getting one of these. Mm-hmm. But
no Bluetooth audio, by the way.
no Bluetooth audio.
Yeah.
So
now, there would probably be a delay with it anyway. I mean, that depends on the codec they let you use, but
right.
It probably wouldn't be ideal anyway.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like immersion, you really need headphones anyway to make it feel right. Or like the Quest 2 where it has built-in speakers that are pointing. They're basically headphones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ran into the problems with Bluetooth in my Steam Deck. Like it, especially with AirPods, has a really big delay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've Bluetooth from my Switch to AirPods, and I didn't notice any problems with that.
I've noticed some latency with,
I haven't done
with
much
AirPods
though.
on Switch.
I didn't do much.
Yeah.
And
it's
then,
not as bad as the Steam Deck.
Yeah. But, primarily when I've done Bluetooth audio with my Switch, it's been my Audio-Technica headphones. And they're Bluetooth. And I didn't really notice any delay with that at all.
They may use a different codec.
They may.
So Sony headphones have like a proprietary codec, and I use those in my Steam Deck sometimes, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that
It's crazy how big of a difference that makes.
I've heard that the PS5 headphones are great, like in terms of like delay and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we have some comments on this poll about will you be picking up the PSVR 2? And Daniel, how about you hit us with that first one there from Progs39?
From Old Progs? Old Progs39 said, I think it'll probably take a while to get the ball rolling, if ever, for PSVR 2. But if it does garner a large enough audience, I would love to see some actual big budget, full VR games.
Yeah. So at launch, we're getting, I should say, I don't know about at launch. I think that the Horizon Call the Mountain game is like the big launch title. That's the one that everyone's talking about. But
it looks awesome.
I'm excited about that game. But we're, I'm hoping in terms of big VR games, I'm hoping to see Half-Life Alyx get ported to the PlayStation VR2. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's only a PC VR game.
Yeah.
And I've played it, and it's amazing. And I wouldn't buy it if it came to PlayStation VR2 because I've already played it and enjoyed it a lot. But I would like for other people who haven't played it to experience that game because it is so amazing. That's like the only huge VR game that I've played that I felt was like worthy of the AAA title. Mm-hmm. I played some other great VR games, but nothing that was like, okay, this is what VR games, this is the future of it. That's the only game I've played. You still need to play that game.
I saw some gameplay of Half-Life Alyx, and it looks great.
It's so good, dude. If you need to borrow my cable to hook your Quest up to play it, I'll let you do it because it is so good.
Okay.
It's phenomenal.
Would it make me sick?
I'm sure there are movement options to where you can do the jump thing, so that would help a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, that would help.
I don't think there's a lot of like climbing and stuff. At least it's minimal.
Man, that climbing jacked me up that day.
On
Vader Immortal.
On Vader Immortal.
Oh man, it messed me up.
Vader Immortal was also good, but it definitely wasn't AAA. I mean, it was just too much of a small game. It wasn't very long.
All right, so we got to. Oh wait, you're up, Randy.
I'm ready. We got Guy in Time here saying, I won't, simply because I already have a Quest 2 and the price isn't worth enough just for some exclusives, unfortunately. But there's definitely a lot more value if you own a PS5. It's also pretty refreshing to see a big console manufacturer pushing for VR. I would love to see what Sony could do with their IPs and a full-fledged game. Is that what the Horizon is going to be? Is it more like a VR ride?
VR ride, that's a good way to describe Vader.
That's a lot of VR games.
Yeah.
They're kind of like an experience, and they're short little experiences, and they're cool, but they're not like full-on games. So from what I understand about the Horizon game, I think it is going to be a pretty big game, but I haven't played it yet. Mm-hmm. No one's played it. We've seen previews and stuff, but
you didn't get an early copy?
No, they didn't send me an early copy or an early PSVR 2 to try out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool to see a big console manufacturer pushing VR because Microsoft's not doing it, and obviously Nintendo's not doing it. So Sony's the only one doing it.
Right.
And I would like to see, I would love to see Xbox and Microsoft have a VR competitor because I think that would help a ton in terms of bringing big experiences to VR if there's any competition.
Right. I mean, Nintendo certainly brought it to the market with Labo.
Labo was cool.
Yeah, I remember when you got it. I had that picture of you that was when the aging filter was really big. And I took a picture of Randy with the aging filter as he was like unwrapping Labo, and it looked like a grandpa like trying to put together his grandson's cardboard toy.
Damn. The more you try it, the worse it was there.
That was a really funny picture, though. Anyway, we got a comment from a channel that I've been trying to decide how to say the name for about 30 seconds here. Jay Thosa YouTube channel.
I think it's JT has a YouTube channel, but
dang, that's what it is. Man, I knew it was something like that, and I just couldn't get it to click. Okay. JT has a YouTube. Jay Thosa. I'm going with Jay Thosa. So anyway, Jay Thosa says, I would say 90% of people are interested in VR. However, most people don't want to actually pay for it. I used to be one of those folks until someone bought me a PSVR1 as a gift. I also believe VR games are about to step closer to that AAA level. People complain about how we keep getting the same gaming experiences, while VR is a great subgenre. I do have a concern with gamers getting more cheap by the day, including me, Game Pass, PS Plus, deep sales, and being unwilling to try new things. It's a slippery slope to mediocrity. Man.
Yeah, I mean, there we go.
Preach, Jay Thosa.
So, yeah, I think that, in my mind, I do think that if the PSVR 2 has success, I think that we really will step closer to having big AAA games come to the medium.
Yeah.
Because it's still such a niche thing. If it can just get some sort of foothold, and I think it'll help a lot. But I thought the same thing about the Quest 2.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
Oh.
Even though it was widely adopted, it seemed like, I think maybe because the Quest 2 is underpowered, that's why we haven't seen it.
And you have to use a PC to play the more powerful stuff.
Right, yeah.
Most people aren't into that.
No.
They want to plug crap into a console and it works.
Yeah. And the Quest 2 is great for being able to do that, but admittedly the Meta or Oculus Store or whatever it is, it's pretty limited in terms of what games are on there. It has some good games, but it doesn't have it doesn't have Half-Life Alyx.
Right.
And it doesn't have
There's your issue right there.
Seriously though, it doesn't have the biggest game. It's not there. And then there are so many games that are great games that are exclusive to PSVR 1. You wouldn't believe it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it.
Well, I mean, you would believe it because I told you. But yeah, I hope that we continue to see more AAA games come to.
Me too.
To PSVR.
Well, hit us with this comment from D1 Usions of Grandeur.
It's delusions, man. But you know what? For us, it's D1. Old
D1
D1.
Usions.
D1 Usions. Usions. If Sony makes it work on PC, possibly. So this is a thing because right now, it's not. You're not going to be able to use it as a PC VR.
Right.
But maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll add that in because that would
cool.
really add a lot of value.
That would be cool.
Because it is a decently spec'd headset. I just have absolutely no interest in owning a PS5, which unfortunately is what is needed to power the thing currently.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why you don't have interest in a PS5. Not that I'm saying everyone has to have a PS5. But I think between the current two big consoles, to me, the PS5 is more appealing.
Heck yeah, it is. PS5's sexy.
Well, I don't really love the way it looks.
It's grown on me, man. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's impractical AF.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of dumb. But
yeah.
It looks like I've got a freaking little spaceship sitting in my entertainment center, I don't even notice the Xbox. It blends in.
Fair, yeah. I mean, the Xbox is definitely.
Sony made a statement.
I have the PS5 and the Series X next to each other, and I have people come over all the time for lessons. And if anyone notices that I have something, they say, "Oh, you have a PS5." I've never once had someone say, "Oh, you've got a Series X."
Right.
Never once.
Yeah. Now that really doesn't matter when you're playing the games.
No. But the thing I like about the PS5 is one, I love the controller. I think it's the best controller. And then the exclusive games. I mean, it just has them, and Xbox doesn't have that many. But if there's one thing that could win me over on the Series X, you know what it is. Let's say it together.
Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, quick. You know that. You're just trying to mess with me. You knew what it was going to be.
He is so obsessed with Quick Resume. It's hilarious. We had a conversation about it, maybe even on this podcast. I don't know. And we were talking about, how much time are you really saving here, And I was like, let's say you save a minute. And he was like, oh, it's not even close to a minute. And I was like, I know, but I was trying to be liberal about it here. Even if you saved a full minute every time you booted up a game, that's nothing. You waste, that's nothing.
I just love the convenience. I just think it is so cool.
Yeah.
And if the PS5 had Quick Resume, it would be the hands down winner in my mind. And I know who gives a crap about console wars, but
right.
Still, I love them both. I have them both.
Man, Honestly, man, my PC has just taken the place of the Xbox in my heart.
Yeah,
I haven't booted up my Series X in so long.
that's sad.
But I boot up the PS5 every day.
I've been playing a lot of Series X because we got Hogwarts Legacy on the
Right,
Series
well, you
X.
got it on Series X. I got it on PlayStation.
Right. Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of Series X lately. So, Daniel, if it isn't already pretty present or obvious from what we've been talking about, you're not super stoked about the PSVR 2. You have no interest in getting one right now.
Yeah.
And why?
Well, I do want to say, like, I wish I was. And I am excited that my neighbor's getting one because I know I'll get to use it. But yeah, VR makes me sick, man. Like,
Motion sick.
it makes me motion sick, yeah. And not every little thing about it does, but just it seems like everything I play at some point has something that happens and I'm like, ugh, and I'm about to hurl.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get car sick when I was a kid, and I still would, I guess, if I was like trying to play Pokemon in the back seat,
Right,
like
yeah.
I was back then. But I'm not going to buy one because I know I won't use it much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you did the same thing with Quest 2, got it, and it was like, you just have...
I like it. I had a lot of fun when I use it. I just can't use it for very long at all, and it's just frustrating.
Yeah, my wife has the same issue with VR. She gets super motion sick. There are games that she's played like the Moss games. I think that you would probably really like those games. They have no chance of motion sick because you don't move. You're just like, it's stationary. Games like Super Hot VR, also great.
Super Hot's awesome.
They won't make you motion sick. So there are games that are better, but like a lot of the games out there have the problem. But let's find out what the Gaming Gig viewers think the biggest problem with VR is, including motion sickness.
Yeah, so 58% said it's too expensive. That was the big one. 19% said limited games. 10% identify with me in motion sickness. And 13% say it's a gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it being too expensive, I get it. There's a lot of tech that goes into this that's beyond just traditional gaming, so it is more expensive. And I think that's a big barrier. You know, I'm fortunate in that I'm able to afford it, but it's not like I'm pumped to spend this money. I don't want it to come across that way, or like it's not a...
Yeah. It's like buying another PlayStation 5.
I know.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money. It's more expensive than buying another PS5.
Yeah, my kids at school, they know I have a PlayStation 5, and they every now and then one of them will be like, "You have a PS5?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll say, "That's $500." And I'm like, "I know that." And they like can't even fathom it. Like,
Well, they're like
I know.
teenagers.
We have like such I talked to you yesterday about the disconnects I have from a gamer perspective between me and the kids. It's so funny. Like,
Well, that's why we always talk so much about saving money in gaming, you know, because it's such a big thing for a lot of people.
oh yeah,
Yeah. But we had here about the problems with with VR just in general. We have Guerrilla Tactics, who wrote a very, very expansive comment that I thought actually was pretty interesting. So we have here, Guerrilla Tactics has a little bit of everything. To get into it, it's really expensive. I know the Oculus, or whatever Facebook, aka Meta, is calling it, is getting cheaper, but it's still expensive for some when you consider options like smartphones, a Switch, or an Xbox Series S, and all the value some of those bring for a smaller or cheaper price. So let's talk about this one a little bit at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One, the Quest is cheaper, but they raised it by $100 not too long ago. So it's not really the great value that it was.
right. No, it's definitely not great value brand.
No, it's not. Well, it is sold at Walmart, but it's not branded by Walmart.
Right. Yeah, VR is expensive, no doubt. I mean,
And that's great. Like Series S, what a value. I mean, come on.
oh yeah,
It is so good. Such a great value.
yes, it is. I
It
mean,
is great value branded too.
and that helps.
Yeah, that does help Walmart.
Well, what that does is it tempers your expectations. So
Right.
when you bite into it and you realize it actually tastes pretty good,
Yeah, it's almost like the name brand.
it almost tastes like Microsoft.
Right. The next issue I've personally faced is the lack of proper movement controls. Most games have the jump to feature where you use an arrow to jump to a new piece in the ground in front of you. It has caused me motion sickness as my body isn't moving at all. I'm someone who plays the games at 120 hertz and from time to time gets motion sickness. So if this type of movement control still exists, I doubt the high frame rates on, say, the PSVR 2 are going to do anything for me. So I think actually here, I don't think that's contributing to your motion sickness because that type of movement control is actually to help alleviate motion sickness. It's actually the opposite.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. As somebody who gets sick, that actually does kind of help me. What messes with me is vertical movement in VR. Not even necessarily walking all the time screws me up, but vertical movement just jacks me up.
From what I understand, motion sickness is caused from where your brain thinks you are moving because you're, traveling through space, but your inner ear tells you you're not.
Right.
So it's that disconnect. And the jumping thing actually, because you don't move like fluidly, you're just like popping in and out, it actually helps alleviate it, right? From what I understand, I think those are supposed to help.
Yeah, I think so. And that makes sense why you get motion sick in a car, because you're just sitting there, but your brain knows you're zooming around these curves.
Right.
But
your eyes are telling you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that disconnect.
Which makes sense why if I was ever in like a dark school bus, I didn't get motion sick because like I wasn't really seeing the curves and all that. Like I'd be like on a band
No,
trip
you're supposed to be able to see. That's why when you sit in the front seat, you don't get motion sick.
But okay, you're right.
That's why you sit in the front seat and you can watch it, and your brain and
because
your
you're
ear
feeling
telling you
the
the
movement,
same
but
thing.
not seeing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
you're right. I have that backwards. But I never really did get sick in school buses. Now that I bring it up, that's kind of weird. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. Up next is just the game quality in general. Granted, I haven't played every VR game ever made, but thus far in my time with the HTC Vive and PSVR1, there have really only been a handful of complete full-fledged games. The two that stick out in my mind are Skyrim and Half-Life Alyx, one of which was a port and has been ported to everything including the Alexa and Google Home. The second game, while being good, wasn't worth that almost $2,000 I spent on the complete Vive experience. That being Half-Life Alyx. I mean, it's a great game, but I don't know that I'd say it was $2,000. No game's worth $2,000.
Yeah.
Now,
Damn.
I played Skyrim in VR too, and I did like it. It was fun.
Yeah, and I played it on Alexa, and I thought it was trash garbage.
I played it using voice controls.
No, I played it on Xbox when it came out. But yeah, I did actually play for about 10 minutes on Alexa when I found out I could, just to see what it was like. And it is hilarious.
Wait, you can play Skyrim on an Alexa? Are you joking? Right?
They're not lying here, man. It's on Alexa.
How?
It just tells you like, you're the Dragonborn. You enter this place. There's a spider here. It's like it's a gimmick. I mean, it's clearly you're not meant to play the game that way, but I guess you could. I don't know.
So it's like all.
I don't know if it's a complete thing. I don't think it like starts you out with like, oh, you're awake. I don't think it starts you with that guy or anything.
Okay.
You know. But
okay.
Well, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I'll have to experience that sometime. That is very interesting. So, continuing the comment. All three things listed above has led me to the conclusion that, for me anyway, VR gaming is just a niche gimmick. Sure, you can play it for an hour or two, even have an enjoyable time, casual core, or somewhere in between. If you consider yourself a gamer, though, I have serious doubts on the viability of making VR your main way to play games.
Yeah. Is anybody really trying to make it their main way, though?
I don't think so, but I think that a lot of people because the narrative always been like, it's the future of gaming. So you think like, oh, it's going to be like the main form of gaming one day, and we'll see it. And I agree. No, it's not.
Yeah, not until it's just way, 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 way better.
The only way I could see us being VR being the main way we game is if we literally live in a VR world.
Mm-hmm. Like if we're like Ready Player One.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's the only way.
Man, they made that look pretty sick, I will say.
I know what you're talking about, but I have not seen Ready Player One.
Well, it's based on a book, so
I've seen
you're
a
big reader. You may really like the book.
I've heard that the book is cheesy.
Well, maybe it is. I mean, the movie's a little cheesy, but I loved it. It was also the first movie I watched on my new TV when I got my soundbar, and it has some great like bass moments. It was really good.
Yeah.
Did you get your soundbar yet?
Okay. Another sidebar. Okay, I ordered
sidebar.
I order a soundbar off of Amazon. And from a company that they're well rated and stuff, and they say they have same day shipping, and it was Prime, and it was like, backed by Amazon. It wasn't from Amazon, but you know what I mean. People bought Amazon.
Yeah.
You know how it works.
People know.
Okay, so they charge my account like that real quick and say it's shipped. Okay, well, and I can track it on Amazon, and it says it's been picked up by FedEx.
Oh.
Well, okay, so it stays on that for I bought it on February 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay? It's been 2 weeks.
February the 19th now.
Right. And I'm like, what? It just hasn't done anything. It just says it's been picked up. And then I actually go on FedEx's website to track the soundbar. Mm-hmm. And I do that, and it says all they've done is printed off the code that FedEx hasn't ever received it. So then I call the company that has shipped it, and they're like, I know they have not shipped it. They really haven't shipped it. It's just sitting in their warehouse. No one put it out. Somehow it got forgotten. They say, oh, let me check into it. And then they send me things saying, oh, it's been lost. The carrier says it's been lost, which is not true. The carrier did not say it was lost. They never sent it. And then they actually did ship it, and it's supposed to be here tomorrow, I think.
Wow. You've been having a tough go with the mail.
My
FedEx
first world
sucks in our area, though. For us, anyway. On our road where we live, FedEx sucks.
I know.
But it hasn't even made it that far yet.
No, it's supposed to be here tomorrow.
They haven't even had a chance to disappoint you yet.
I know. No,
And they will.
they will. FedEx always does.
All right. Anyway, we got a comment from who I believe is Heather Cook.
This is Heather Cook.
Saying, I love VR, but there's a serious lack of big AAA experiences. My biggest problems are that I can't look at my phone while playing VR.
No, it says my biggest problems are that, and I can't look at my
Well, I noticed that she mixed up her plurals there, so okay, that makes more sense. My biggest problems are that, and I can't look at my phone while playing VR.
You got to get the things where you can look through. Like the Quest has, you can look through, but it's not good enough to look at your phone.
You can't look at your phone.
I mean, you can, but it's not going to be good enough.
And Apple definitely ain't going to face unlock your phone.
No.
With a Quest on.
No. Let's see how the PSVR 2's look through mode is. I'm interested to see. Yeah.
All right. We've got another poll, Randall.
Yeah, because here's the thing about this. I was on this train of thought of excited about the PSVR 2, and I really want to play Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Yep.
You know I'm a game collector. Sony has not announced any plans to release Horizon Call of the Mountain physically. It's only digitally right now.
So you're not going to play it?
I'm going to play it, but I'm going to be bummed about it.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that annoys me. It's like, come on, why aren't you making physical copies? Because that was one of the cool things about PSVR 1 is that there were tons of physical VR games. And I think there will be some physical games for PSVR 2, but I want to have the collection. I don't want to buy the game twice.
Yeah. Well, you know that, Sony didn't have a digital-only PS4, right?
No.
So now they have at least half their install base is buying the discless PS5, so they probably don't have as much of an incentive to.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, I know we're coming to the end of physical media, and it makes me sad. And I'm just an old man, and I'm bummed about it.
Yeah.
But how do you prefer to buy your games? That's the question. We have 38% of people saying new physical. That wasn't the most. The most people said it was digital at 47%. And then 11% of people saying used physical. So still, if we add those numbers together, it looks like physical just barely inches out digital. Barely.
Just barely. And then 5% say they want to subscribe or rent.
They don't want to buy games. They just want to subscribe or rent.
And now, I've flip-flopped on this over the years because I also like to have them. But you cannot deny the convenience of digital.
You can't.
In fact, I succumbed to it very recently with Hogwarts Legacy. Because we were out at a gig. You were talking about it. I wanted to play it really bad. So I just got on my phone and told my PlayStation to download it.
Right.
And when I got home, it was there. You can't get that without digital,
No. 100%. You're right.
So, I see where people are coming from. But, eventually we may be shooting ourselves in the foot there. At least with, the console games. I really do trust Steam pretty much.
Yeah.
They've been around a long time.
And I don't think that, I don't see, Sony and the PlayStation, dropping your ability to at least re-download the games that you've purchased. I don't think. But
you don't think they're going to pull a Nintendo and...
Gosh. Maybe. That's the thing.
Jerk
You
the
just
stores
don't
off?
know. You just don't know. You just don't know. Oh, God. I just realized what you said. Okay. We're going to just pretend that didn't happen.
We got a comment, don't we? Yep.
Yeah, let's just keep going with this.
Celeria Rose, thank you for the comment, said, I used to be really into physical, but eventually I shifted over to digital, and it's been so much better. It's just so nice being able to... Thank you, Airplane. It's just been so nice being able to just download the game, not have to pick it up from the store, not have to worry about it being sold out, or hope the company shipping it gets it to you on time. You also don't need to worry about shelf space or discs getting damaged either. You're right. That's what we're saying. Digital has all the convenience.
It does. except for the fact that one day you may not be able to access it anymore, and that's the problem.
And that's the most inconvenient thing of all.
I know. And you have games that are really, they really are like, they're being gone. They're gone forever. You know,
Yeah, there are games on the 3DS eShop that you can't get physically, and they will be gone.
Forever. Kind of. Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute, too, because one of the comments addresses that.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Also, did you pre-order Metroid Prime Remaster yet?
No.
Okay, me neither.
We
should probably do that.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that soon.
We should do that,
We should
yeah.
do that soon. Okay. Next, we have Night Owl Games, who said, I used to love the box art, CD art, and booklets and posters you got with physical games. Really made it feel like I bought something for my 60 pounds. However, these days, it seems like I have no choice but to go digital and just buy the game files. I do miss proper discs. I also noticed more work went into producing the games when box art was a thing. Developers cared more about their product than they do today.
Yeah, I agree. You know, way back in the day, when the world was young and dinosaurs roamed the earth, I bought a little game called The Witcher 3 for PlayStation 4, and I found my box for The Witcher 4, and I opened it up.
Witcher 3
for PS4. Witcher 3, and it had stickers in it.
So cool.
They put stickers in that game. Nobody puts stickers anymore.
No, you get nothing now. Nothing. You might get a little bit of insert with like a download code to get your exclusive content. That's like it.
Get your like snow tunic or whatever. Thanks, Ragnarok.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think that back when physical was the only way, you know, they had to ship it the way they were, and they wanted you to, you know, it was an experience. You got your book. Sometimes they came with posters,
Yeah,
I remember
a big map.
Yeah. I remember.
I think Skyrim sent a full size map.
That was so cool. I don't know. I mean, I know times have changed. I know it's not like, it doesn't make financial sense to do that anymore.
And now you can buy these like steelbook versions of games, and sometimes they don't even come with the game.
Nope. That's what happened when I bought Cyberpunk. I got a steel book. And it was,
Really?
Or no, I shouldn't say. I know you're talking about something different. I was just saying you can buy the individual steel books. That was what I was thinking. But you're saying you can buy
I'm talking about like the collector version of the game.
And they don't even have the game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a bunch of bull crap.
I know. Look at us being old men complaining about the way the world is changing.
Oh, we can complain a lot more than this, buddy.
Next, we got Larry House, who said,
My
new
goodness.
physical. The trade-in program with GameStop is fantastic. I can get new games at full price and trade them back within a week or two for a very premium in-store credit. Play new games for about $30. Okay, so you get about half your money
Not
back.
bad.
That's not too bad. Or what I did this console generation, take in a bunch of older media, consoles included, traded in, and paid for my Xbox Series X. Digital rules when it comes to sales, however, and I do always keep my eye out for them as well as games I put off for a while.
I used to trade in old consoles and stuff. I've certainly done that.
I never did that. I always wanted to keep the things.
Yeah.
I did trade in my regular Switch for an OLED. Mm-hmm. That's the
Yeah.
only time I've done that ever. And it was just such a good deal. I couldn't pass
Man,
it up.
that was a good deal. But I still kind of wish I had it because you could jailbreak it.
But that's a pretty good tip here. If you like playing new games, if you know you're going to play through it real quick and just bring it back to GameStop and get store credit, you're only playing the game. You can get a half price game at launch. That's not bad at all.
No,
That's,
it's not.
that's a pretty good idea.
That's a good tip, Larry.
That's a very good tip.
All right, we got Landon Stallings saying, well, my PC is obviously all digital. You know, they weren't always all digital. Isn't that crazy thing about...
My PC has a disk drive.
Yeah, well, you got a dinosaur over there. It's got like a... I don't know what it's got.
It's 6 years old now.
Oh.
It really is a dinosaur.
But for my Switch, I always try to buy physical unless there's a really good eShop sale. But all first-party games, I like to have a hard copy so my friend can play them when I'm done. And the Switch has cartridges, and that's so cool.
So cool. Our nostalgia speaking there, but it's just like, yeah, I agree. And it's so cool that Landon is sharing, once they're done with the game, they give the cartridge to their friends. I hear you play it. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Heck yeah.
That can only happen with physical media unless you have console sharing turned on for your PlayStation.
Yes, which we don't, but we've always said
we
we're
should
gonna.
have done, because if we had done that with Dan, you wouldn't even had to have paid for Hogwarts Legacy.
I thought about that after I bought it.
I know. I thought about it after too.
Yeah.
Like a
We
couple
gotta
days
get-
later, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are we thinking about?"
We got to get that crap set up.
Yeah, I
What the
know.
hell is wrong with us?
I know. Okay, this next comment really cracked me up. And this is from Ron Wesleyan.
Wesleyan.
Wesleyan?
Wesleyan.
The comment is, I like to sing sea shanties and drink rum.
Well, why is the rum always gone?
So, yeah.
That's what I say. Counter my counter question.
Yeah. So, obviously, this is referring to pirating games. And it's
I didn't get that.
I'm sure you
I
did.
thought it was saying that he's hanging out on a deserted island and eventually he's going to, string together a lasso from his own hair and lasso some sea turtles together and escape.
Probably. You're right. It probably has nothing to do with the actual conversation.
Well, you think he's talking about like ROMs?
ROMs. We now have an ASMR channel.
Yeah, I feel you, Ron. And I understand that you're only downloading the ROMs of games you've bought, and I support you.
Next, we have Caleb, aka Punch Punch. Do you want to tell the story?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and tell the story.
Why not just further validate this long con?
I know.
Okay, Caleb, I know you're here. I'm speaking to you now. So, some of y'all might know, we've had this dude named Punchy Punch floating around our channel and on the main channel and even on our Twitch stream for feels like a month now. And he's been really cool. He's been commenting. He's in 3 for Dale Club. He's been commenting on Twitch stream. And he was like, hey, I really like Smash. I heard that Daniel said he liked Smash. Would you guys do a Smash stream? And we were like, absolutely. So we set it up. Then the first one that we tried to do, I had to bail on. The next week, we set it up again. I almost had to bail again for a completely different reason, but I didn't, and we made it. And Punchy Punch, a.k.a. Caleb, jumped on, and he was good. He was, actually good. And so I was playing. It was me, Randy, our friend Frankie, and Punchy Punch. And me and Frankie are the esports coaches at our high school that we work at. And we have a Smash team, of course. Now, we had this young man on our Smash team who was a senior last year, whose name was Caleb. And he was good at Smash. Well, he's since graduated, and we're in the new calendar year, and he's just an adult like the rest of us now. He's not special anymore. He always had this thing he said. When somebody would miss a tech in Smash, he would say, we tech those. It's just his thing. He said it so much that we got mad at him and made him stop. Well, we were playing Smash the other night on Smash stream. Somebody misses a tech.
Punchy Punch
says, we tech those. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin entered an arena because the glass shattered. Mm-hmm. It was like, psh, and just shattered in my mind. And Frankie wasn't there at the moment. He was AFK, but he came back and I said, Frankie, he said we tech those. He was like, wait a minute. He said we tech those? And I was like, he said we tech those. Turns out it's the same Caleb. He found us through a video I made months ago for Mina the Hollower, which is a game from Yacht Club that hasn't come out yet. Found our channel and decided to instigate this long con so that he could play Smash with us and eventually reveal that he was indeed Caleb. It was the most beautiful long con I have ever been a part of.
Yeah, I don't know if that moment from the Twitch stream has been clipped. It probably hasn't.
I'm sure it hasn't.
But that would be a cool moment to go back and watch. But let's find out old Caleb, aka Punchy Punch, their comments or their thoughts on physical versus digital games.
Yeah, because now he's just Caleb, I guess.
Yeah, he's just Caleb now. He said, I don't have too much of a preference between new physical and used physical as long as the game works. There are things people like collecting, such as game manuals and boxes, so they feel like they own the complete package, but I mainly care about having the game in a working condition. So physical, but don't care if it's new or used.
Mm-hmm. I feel you, Caleb.
That's how I am. Yep. I don't care. I want to be clear, I do want the
box.
The box.
Mm-hmm.
What am I blank? It's not a box. It's the...
it is a box.
I guess it's a box. I don't know.
The game box? The case?
The case. That's what the word I was thinking of.
Oh,
case.
okay.
I was just blanking on the case. I want the case.
Same thing.
But I don't care if it's used or new. I buy used games a lot.
But I do have some of my old Game Boy manuals I found, and those are so cool. So I really wish we had manuals again.
Me too. All right. So
Andy Bishop. I didn't mean to
No,
asked
go
you
ahead.
like that, Andy. Full name, but anyway, Andy has like N64 boxes from when we were kids.
Man,
Yeah,
that is so cool.
that is so cool.
You can sell those for a lot of money.
I
Andy.
told him that, but
Yeah.
he shouldn't.
He's not going
I
to.
think he's got like Ocarina of Time.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is awesome. Got the manuals and stuff too.
I bet he does.
That is so cool. So we're at the end of the podcast. If you make it all the way to the end of the podcast, we like to shout you out at the end of the next one. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, you got to be a part of the 3 for Dale Club, which means you got to leave a comment on the YouTube version of the podcast with a comment that has 3 for Dale. Either that just be the comment or add it into your comment. And if you do that, we shout you out at the end of the next podcast. I think I didn't explain that very well, but
Yeah, leave us a comment that says 3 for Dale.
and we'll shout you out.
But he did specify YouTube version because we did get a comment recently asking, like, are we on Spotify and places like that? And we totally are. So you can listen to this, like, audio only.
And there are people who consistently, I know they
Yeah.
listen to the podcast audio. And if you're one of those people, I'm sorry that you can't comment or be part of 3 for Dale Club. Just go over to YouTube and find the video version.
Yeah.
And comment there. The way you can also be part of the 3 for Dale Club.
Yeah, and I feel your pain because I'm also an audio listener of podcasts. I don't watch video podcasts.
Right.
But you should.
So,
Anyway.
this week in the 3 for Dale Club, we have, of course, Punchy Punch, Caleb.
Thank you, Caleb.
You can hit us with the next one?
Sure, Landon Stallings.
Landon's always there for us. Landon's like our rock. And we have Guy. Guy, thank you for being part of the 3 for Dale Club again.
Yes, thank you, Guy Sensei. And we have Rowan something.
Rowan something. Again, back for another week in the 3 for Dale Club. This is 4 people. I don't know if we've ever had a 4 people 3 for Dale Club. Maybe we have once. I don't know, but it feels great.
It does feel great.
Maybe one day we'll get double digit 3 for Dale Club.
Man.
That would just make my life.
This is actually a 3+1 3 for Dale Club. 3 for Dale plus 1.
That's right. We normally don't like to go over 3 because, 3 for Dale.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, this has been... Wait, no. I almost did that wrong. Until next
Randy.
time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
And this has been Gaming Geek.
Peace out.